Alaikum, my dear students. I welcome you all in our online classes. Today we will be talking about the introduction of modern and contemporary drama. Before starting, you should know what is meant by drama. Drama is derived from the Greek word drao, which means to act or to perform. The spellings of drao are D-R-A-O. The basic difference between the modern drama and the traditional or the classical drama was of theme and style. For example, in the modern sense, the theme is mostly realistic in nature, while in the traditional setup, the themes were of historical or incestuous nature. Um, in the modern setup, the modern dramatists are Henrik Ibsen, George Bernard Shaw, Eugene O'Neill, while the traditional dramatists who were famous for their dramas were Shakespeare, William Shakespeare, Christopher Marlowe, etc. Traditional versus modern drama. Traditional drama dealt with the supernatural elements, fate, heroic deeds, and the task of avenging or the theme of revenge. Whereas modern drama deals with realism, absurdism. Absurdism refers to foolishness or meaninglessness, etc. Some of the famous modern playwrights are Henrik Ibsen, Bernard Shaw, Arthur Miller, and Ibsen is considered as the father of modern drama. Drama. In literature, the performance that is done on the stage before the audience is known as drama. In the 20th century, the stage was dominated by the performances of Henrik Ibsen's plays. The characteristics of the modern drama are naturalism, absurdism, and realism. Naturalism, um, while we talking about the naturalism, it is quite obvious by the very name that is given to it. It refers to the manner or technique of treating some subject matter, the way it is presented. Basically, it refers to the naturalistic settings of the play. In the modern setup, and while talking about naturalism, A Doll's House by Henrik Ibsen is one of the best examples in this regard. As Henrik Ibsen showed in his play A Doll's House that women are always dominated by men in society as well, he showed that Nora was ordered to listen and dominated by her father in her childhood, and after her marriage she is also dominated by her husband as well. So it seems that A Doll's House, as it the very title of the play shows, that it refers to the stories of a girl or a female who is treated or trapped in a household setup just like a doll. So, the major protagonists of the play are Nora and her husband Helmer, while her husband Helmer treats Nora as a doll. And at the end of the play, by the end of the play, she realizes that she is not only a doll who is meant to please her husband or perform the duties of her children, she has some other duties that are quite sacred and that are related to her own existence. So that's why Nora acts as a torchbearer for all the women around the world. Then the other trait that is important is absurdism. Absurdism refers to the foolishness or the meaninglessness. So there are many playwrights who wrote about this idea. For example, the philosophical and literary doctrine that human beings live in essential isolation in a meaningless and irrational world means when we become isolated, we become irrational and we produce some work that is referred to as meaningless. There was no regular movement regarding theatre of absurd, rather, it was a group of people who wrote plays without following the conventional rules. The conventional rules are the setups that are bound to be followed or are the conventions that we follow time and again. In simple words, performance of plays that were written by a group of unconventional writers was called theatre of absurd. And in this regard, Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett is regarded as an absurd play. The main protagonists of the play are two characters, basically Vladimir and Estragon, and we see that they both are the tramps who are aimlessly walking, and they are having no idea of what is right and wrong, and they are waiting for Godot. Godot is symbolic here as it means, it may be regarded as the symbol of God, and they are waiting for a miracle to happen, and they are spending their lives just for an act that is meant to be performed by Godot. Uh, so it refers to the idea of absurdity, because they both the tramps are foolishly time passing their time, and they have no set goals or aims, and they have a habit of forgetfulness. While move let's move forward. Then we talk about realism, the movement or style of presenting familiar things as they actually are. Late 19th century movement, it deals with the psychological aspects of a play. Then there are certain elements of drama. There are that can be categorized in three categories: literary elements, technical elements, and performance elements. Aristotle, who was known as a Greek philosopher whose writings influence us till now, and he wrote about the elements of drama. The six basic elements of drama, in the view of Aristotle's perception, are plot, theme, characters, dialogue, music, or you can say it rhythm, and spectacle. Let's talk about plot. The arrangement of the events, the way the events are arranged in a play, is known as plot. While theme refers to the main idea of the story, characters are the people who perform the act. Dialogue is the word dialogue refers to the words that are written by playwright and spoken by the characters. Music refers to the musicality in the play, while in the traditional setup we can say that it refers to the rhythm of the actors, the way they speak. And spectacle refers to the visual elements of the play, for example, the costumes, the setting, etc. In the modern theater, few things remain same and the other things are changed. For example, characters, plot, and theme and dialogues remain the same, while there is a change in the conventions, genre, and audience. In the modern setup, convention refers to the techniques and methods that the playwright used in order to break from the traditional setup or from the already established phenomena. The conventions are something that are bound to the era that we are living in. While talking about genre, genre refers to the type of play. Some examples of different genres include comedy, tragedy, mystery, historical, romantic plays, etc. The audience is the main thing as far as the modern theater is concerned. Uh, th- it refers to the group of people who are watching the play. Then let's talk about the literary elements. There are certain literary elements: initial incident, preliminary event, rising action, climax, falling action, denouncement. The initial incident is also known as the exposition, or it refers to the idea of exposing. The characters are exposed, they interact with each other, and the story advances. The preliminary event is also known as the before the action of the play. Then the rising action, the conflicts, if there are any conflicts in the drama, they take place and the story moves towards the climax. Climax is also known as the high point, turning point, or the peak point. Here, in climax position, the audience as well as the readers are at their toes. They are unable to decide which way the events will lead. Either they will be positive, either they will be negative. The following action, all the conflicts come to some sort of resolution, and the story is moving towards the final end. Denouncement also refers to conclusion, resolution, or the end of the story. There's a plot diagram. You can also have an idea about it by looking at it in detail. Then there are other literary elements: exposition, story organization, conflict, suspense. I've already mentioned the above three. Let me explain the last one. A feeling of uncertainty as to the outcome used to build interest and excitement on the part of the audience. Suspense refers to the it is somewhat related to mystery, and it refers to the height of curiosity. Then there are other literary elements, for example, language, style, soliloquy, and monologue. In language, what sort of language is used? It refers to the verbal expression, the way the words are produced. In style, the manner of dramatic material, for example, the costumes, the non-realistic manner. Soliloquy refers to the speech of a single actor and it is done alone on the stage. There is no interference of anyone. While monologue is meant to be a long speech by one actor, mono means one and log means language, and it is delivered in front of the audience, but the audience can't participate in the speech. Then there are some technical elements also. While talking about the technicality in the modern drama, it refers to the scenery, the costumes, light, the placement of light, the yellow color, the white color, or the multicolored light. It refers to the mood or feeling. Then there are certain sound effects. They also refer to the environment. And last one is the makeup, the costumes, the wig, or maybe the paint that is done on the body of the actor, which transforms him into a character. Then there are certain performance elements. Number one is acting. It is use of face, body, or the voice. Then there are character motivation, speaking style, diction. Diction refers to the pronunciation of the words, or it also refers to the language. Non-verbal expression. In non-verbal expressions, we take the gestures, or we can say that the body language or the non-verbal language or the sign language, the way we use our body parts to convey certain meaning. In facial expressions, physical and vocal aspects of the character matter a lot. Thank you. If there are any queries, I'll be ready to answer in the Zoom scheduled meeting. Take care, all of you. Allah Hafiz.